Well, it looks like Jurrien Timber has arrived at London Colney to conduct the second last process of his transfer activity. To see it that it crosses from Ajax to Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? And we're watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. You can as well call me RD. And we are doing what we call the Transfer News Show. Talking Jurrien Timber arriving at London Colney to undergo his medical. We're here to discuss a little bit furthermore of a deal of Richarlison has gone ahead and really spoken out on his move to Tottenham Hotspur, and Recce of Chelsea coming out to promise the best to his fans at Chelsea that he's not going to be injury prone as he has always been this entirety of the recently concluded season. So smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now we are having the best of the best right now, and I think you guys are really enjoying the day, as this is the fourth story on a day, and I would like to let you know that we've changed the system. It's all about doing a story every after 2 hours because we've been missing out on very many stories that have been occurring at this time, and I think we are also going to at least start inserting one live stream, guys, is going to be coming in through, and it might come in through at 7 p.m. So I'll schedule it, you'll see it up, and that will take us to the levels where you guys want us to be always as far as this channel is really concerned. Now let's start it off with a story coming in from Charles Watts, formerly an Arsenal correspondent for The Goal, and he's now an independent or solo journalist, and he still has what happens at Arsenal. He has gone ahead and informed us that Jurrien Timber has arrived at Arsenal to undergo his medical and finalize his move from Ajax. Timber is expected to travel with his new teammates to the club's training camp in Germany next week. So Jurrien Timber has come in early enough, and this is something so much positive for the club of Arsenal. If at all you know what this means, a medical is a process that almost sums up the transfer project, and it just looks the most crucial bit of it. You know, agreeing terms with the team, going ahead to see to it that you obviously show the payment structure and it gets proven, signing the documents after all the medical is done doesn't make an impact or doesn't make sense if at all a player doesn't pass a medical. So you have to pass a medical to see to it that all that process is valid. But if at all you fail the medical, that process is null and valid. They'll just tell the player, good enough, we're interested in signing you, but you failed our medical and we get you back to your former club, and the deal is obviously falling apart. So when you look at such scenarios, that's why this part is really so much intensive, so much technical, and it requires a lot of time. As I speak now, Jurrien Timber arrived 2 hours ago at London Colney. He's undergoing his medical, but it's going to take like 4 or 5 hours. And for us to come here to let you know that he has gone ahead to pass or fail his medical, it's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 hours, because it's really going to be so much intensive. You know, they are going to pay a lot of attention to detail because they know that he's a big money player, big money signing, £40 million entire deal. That is a lot of money for a player like Jurrien Timber at the age of 22. But that sums up the entire transfer journey, and if at all he passes the medical, he's going to go ahead and obviously sign papers. Even Ajax will go ahead and obviously sign papers, and the exact amount of money that Jurrien Timber has crossed for from Arsenal to sorry about that has crossed for from Ajax to Arsenal will be communicated to us as soon as possible, as everything really goes ahead to really happen. So to my understanding, I really know that it's really going to be something hard to see to it that he fails it. I think he's going to really pass it. He's a young player, physically fit, and all we know is that he has not been an injury-prone player. Because if at all a player has been an injury-prone, then you gauge at least a doubt in you that maybe he might find himself failing the transfer window that will fail him to see to it that he goes to where he deserves to be. And now we come to the most important bit of why Arsenal is getting these players early enough. Arsenal is flying to Nuremberg on Sunday, and they're playing their first preseason game on Thursday. So all these three players are going to be part of the preseason. The preseason, when it commences and when it halts. Arsenal are going to play Nuremberg, they're going to play Man United, they're going to play Borussia Dortmund, they're going to play Real Madrid or Barcelona, all of those. They're going to play Monaco, right? So they're having close to 6 preseason games to play, and these players are really going to be readily available to see to it that they really integrate into the team of Arsenal. And as I told you, I might sound repetitive, but Mikel Arteta had this in plan to see to it that he gets all his players that he wants to send, especially the priority ones, to America. Play all the games together, preseason games together, and he goes on to what we call the weighing scale with Man City on the 5th of August as they head into what we call the Charity Shield. The winner of the FA Cup versus the winner of the Premier League. But because Man City won the Premier League and the FA Cup, then who is going to play the Community Shield with Man City is supposed to be the second best placed team in the Prem. So, as it stands, it's one of those things that will always be remembered, that Arsenal went toe-to-toe with Man City onto that game. And that's the most important bit of these signings. He wants to really test himself against Man City. And if at all he beats Man City, that will send a message to him that I can go ahead and obviously beat Man City twice. And if at all he beats Man City twice in the coming season, that will put him into a very good position to win the league. Because, look, if he had beaten Man City twice and collected 6 points out of Man City, he would have been at 90 points. Even if Man City would have gone ahead to collect 89, Arsenal would have been at 90 points and they would have gone ahead to really lift the trophy. Not so? And I would like to inform you that that is the aim of Mikel Arteta. He wants to go full energy, full blast on the 5th of August as the Community Shield really takes place. It's going to be a very huge game that we're going to come here and obviously give you a preview about, as Arsenal is going to be testing its new weapons that they've gone ahead to really install into their arsenal, and that is Jurrien Timber, Declan Rice, and Kai Havertz. So that is it for Jurrien Timber. He's at London Colney. He's undergoing his medical, and we're going to bring you the results of the medical when it's done and dusted at London Colney. Now, let's leave at that, but we are not striding our foot so far from the side of Arsenal in North London. We are still in North London, and we are talking Tottenham Hotspur. Richarlison was a player that was signed for 60 million pounds from Everton to the North London side, and last season he literally scored a goal in the Premier League and scored only 1 goal. That's it. All of the games he played, he never really put up a lot of performances, but he has gone ahead and obviously put up a statement and strengthened all the Spurs fans that the club signed me. They spent a lot of money, even with some stress. I had there in the first season. I don't have much to complain about. I just owe with them. So he is really confirming to the Spurs fans that you demand a lot from me, and I'm willing to go ahead and obviously getting the debt covered this season. And getting the debt covered this season calls up to lots of things for him to go ahead and really put those balls at the back of the net. And now, this happens when he's having a new manager known as Ange Postecoglou, who has gone ahead to come in from Celtic to come in through and obviously take on the job of Tottenham Hotspur. You'll anticipate the best out of Richarlison as far as scoring goals is concerned, and obviously going ahead to really take this team to where it deserves to be. And there is a block of Harry Kane, but he has some bit of green light because Harry Kane is not willing to really stay at Spurs, meaning that if at all he leaves, the targets man of Spurs that they would have gone to stay with is going to be Richarlison. And I think he can lead that team to where he deserves to be. He's aggressive, though he just needs to find himself on a way of controlling his temper and how clinical he is. So that is Richarlison for you, one of the players that I really fancied a lot, but I think going to Tottenham Hotspur in a season where they had Antonio Conte with those problems of the board falling out with the manager, you anticipate that it wasn't all that good. And you really remember how Richarlison went after the manager of Spurs, that is Antonio Conte, meaning that they were really known friends. And that shows you that this was not a signing of Antonio Conte, it was a signing of the board. Because if at all it was the signing of Antonio Conte, he would have gone ahead to give Richarlison very many games, but most of the games Richarlison came off the bench and he couldn't fit into the starting 11 of Spurs, because the starting 11 of Spurs had 3 forwards, and that was Kulusevski, Son Heung-min and Harry Kane, and those were constants. Even when injuries of Kulusevski came in through, it was hard to see to it that Richarlison gets into the starting 11. So when he talks about stress, that's the stress he was really talking about, coming in from the manager of Spurs, formerly known as Antonio Conte. But he anticipates a very better season. They've already reported back to see to it that they really train with Spurs and obviously get ready for the season. But he faces a very high verbal attack from pundits, because for the first season anyone will really sympathize with you, but for the second season don't expect any sympathy. They'll obviously go ahead and really put up the best of attack they can towards that player, and obviously we anticipate the best from Richarlison, with Ange Postecoglou doing the needful to is that he really gets in this player to the levels that we all thought he could come, if at all he hit his ceiling. But the trajectory was descending, but it looks like it's going to really ascend under Ange. Now, after that, let's talk about Reece Jameson, the injury-prone player that is so much talented. To me, if at all he can really keep consistency, he can be the best right back in the world, because there are no many that are like him. Now, he was talking to Simon Johnston of The Athletic. He's a correspondent of Chelsea and then The Athletic Football Club. He told them that he told us that Reece James is doing everything he can to make sure he's a consistent presence. Reece James is doing everything he can to make sure he's a consistent pressure. He's a consistent presence under Mauricio Pochettino, regardless of whether he's appointed captain or not. Reece James to be relishing the chance to be regarded as a face of Chelsea. So he's working hard to see it that he becomes that player who is already available for the club of Chelsea. Last season, he got lots of injuries that really put him off the map to become the big face of Chelsea. And when you look at the way he really plays, he plays like a modern right back. Defensively, he's good. Going forward, he's one of the best in the world. He spares sometimes to even score goals for his team. And that has gone ahead to put Chelsea into an ilk of really being dangerous. And they're so much dangerous when they're having their fullbacks in full operation, especially Reece James on the right side of the fullback and Chilwell onto the left side. When you look at Cucurella, he has not gone ahead to show us those traits of the Cucurella we saw at the Chelsea side, at the Brighton side. And so wait and see how that is going to come into orchestration. But your thoughts now are welcome about Jurrien Timber arriving at Colney and undergoing his medical now. What do you make about it? Richarlison busting out some good stories out of the bubble that he owes the fans of Spurs, and obviously Reece James trying to be a more consistent player and obviously vying for the captaincy of Chelsea. I sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. My Muslim viewers, subscribers, and friends, Juma Kareem. And may the Lord bless you and make you go far and far and far. Fourth video of the day, more is yet to come. I told you, we are charged, guys. We are charged for this, and on a daily, this is what we're gonna do. I'm out.